about it either. Did this live just start over? Yeah,
I think the live started over. I don't know how that happened because
because I was like, they kept saying that you weren't moving and you were asleep. So I don't know
I
what
don't
happened.
know. The live must have just went off. I don't know how that even happens. How can the live restart itself? Sorry guys, I
That's
don't know what
crazy.
happened there. The live just restart. We've been talking out here, enjoying ourselves. Looking out. I was looking at it like they keep telling I'm asleep. I'm like, what are we talking about? I'm asleep. I'm right
Yeah, that's
here.
why I'm like, he's having a whole conversation. He's talking the whole time. And I'm like, what is
I'm like, yo. I'm like, wait, I'm not asleep, guys.
that's
Sorry,
crazy.
sorry. Go
Let
for
me
it,
finish
Jay.
what I was saying though, Sha. Like if I take your hypothetical scenario, your hypothetical there and say it's production, he should have been quiet. He should have not went at her so hard. He shouldn't have been pointing a finger at her because when you point a finger at somebody, four pointed back at you. If production is making me sit on my truth, I'm not about to shame somebody else about theirs. They can't make me do all of these things. I'm sorry. They just can't because it's reality TV. In order for me to be my real authentic self, you have to let me go and be me. You can't produce and overproduce me. There's a limit to it all. Everybody always tell you on reality TV, no matter which shows we watch, they suggest things. It's up to us to decide what we do. We don't have
Jay,
to always say the stuff.
real
If
quick,
that's the
real
case,
quick.
we can give Erica and Minna that out and say that production made her do it.
Jay, can you hear me?
Hmm.
The,
Yes, we can
they
hear
don't
you.
know what we're talking about. They're like not even caught
I
up.
think I think they missed all of it. You know.
I'm
I don't
sorry.
know.
Exactly.
I know. I'm sorry, but I'm still. I know what you're
Yeah,
talking about. So
My
yeah, that's
God,
what I'm
my
saying.
God, I'm
So
so
we
sorry,
should
guys. We've
we
been on
we
for
should
half. We've been
just
on for at
kind of
least.
okay,
we
I
got
don't
to
even know how
reset
we
a little
start
bit.
this over because you said some
We
good
we
points too.
I know we said some good point. We've been on here for about an
Yeah,
hour, guy. Almost an hour. I'm so sorry, guys. We
Sean made some good points, and that's what we going off of. And
yo
Sean has to repeat his points, I guess, to even.
I'll
Sorry.
yo.
just I'll do like a
Wait.
five
First of
minute
all, did you
recap.
guys hear? Let me wait, Sean. Before you go, did they hear anything? Did you? Where?
They didn't hear nothing. So what the hell were they responding to?
What were they
I think
responding
they were
to?
having their own conversation. Because if you
Blood.
look at the
We've been talking.
comments,
Oh
Because
my
I thought
days.
somebody said it was frozen, like he was frozen and stuff. Oh, so they thought he was sleep. Oh, snap.
They ain't seen nothing. So meanwhile, I'm thinking to myself, they're responding to our commentary and everything. They ain't seen nothing, bruv.
they've seen
I
nothing. Yep,
could have
that's what
swore they
Felicia
was
just said.
responding to the commentary though, as I was reading the comments this whole time. Oh my god.
The whole time, we ain't. Oh man.
Dang, we need to stop this
I've
and
been
start all over
praising
again.
people. We're gonna start all over again. Hey guys, I'm so sorry. Listen, we thought we were live. We've been chatting behind the scenes for the past hour or so. I am so sorry. Listen, make sure you oh my days. Oh, yo, we've been
It was
dropping
good
bars.
too.
Oh my days. Okay, listen, guys, welcome to Little Blackbird 91. Well, unfortunately, I'm sorry, we thought we had started about an hour ago. We've been chopping up behind the scenes. We are going to get into the conversation about Love is Blind. It's crazy, it's mad. We've had a love triangle going on between Lydia, Uche, and a good sis Aliyah, and it's crazy. So we're gonna jump back into that conversation. I don't waste much time. We're gonna jump back into that conversation because Sean and Jay were having this really great conversation about why Uche didn't say what he was meant to say, and didn't say why he was dating Lydia in the very beginning, when he was cussing out Aliyah for basically doing her thing, and it wasn't even to do with him. So I think Jay, you might want to hit it first, and then we'll chop up from there because, oh my god,
Whew. Let me try to even rewind half of the stuff I said to even start this all off, okay? Because we were starting to talk about the triangle of it all. And so I went down the line, speaking of Uche first, on the fact that he shamed Aliyah so hard about her truth, but was holding on to this bombshell of a truth that he is actually has dated a cast member that happens to be Aaliyah's best friend or whatnot. Then I went on. This is crazy. I went on there to talk about Lydia and how she's a snake in the grass for befriending Aliyah, running to her very side every single time she came in, whether she was happy, crying, and anything about this man. She was all up in her face, getting all the details, intel from her. And I'm like, why are you doing it? Do you still want this man, or do you want him to generally be happy and find somebody else? I can't believe that you would even try to be this girl's friend so tough, knowing what you know as well. And then I circle back to Aliyah, and her thought about it is basically you're sitting here in front of this man, finding this bombshell out after he scolded you. Sit there, proceed to tell him how Lydia is your BFF. She's going to be the auntie of your children. She's this great person, all of this and the third. And she could be, you know what I'm saying? At least we don't know this at anything by now, but she could well be. And that you want to have a conversation with her, which is fine and dandy. But when you have the conversation with her, what are you going to do with that information? That's the point. Like, what's the point of having a conversation if you're going to still be with this man at the end of the day? She proceeds to have the conversation with her, and Lydia drops all this tea, too much tea for my liking. I'm like, girl, you sitting there hugging up on me. Our legs are wrapped around each other, and you're sitting here telling me how you'd have met this man's family, his dog, his car, all of this other stuff. You've been around him, all this. On top of it, you smashed him 3 months ago. And my biggest conflict with it all is, Uche, while you were sitting there scolding this girl, that would have been the perfect time for you to go ahead and tell her that you have been messing around, or you have messed around with a castmate here. Instead of holding that information some time later, only to reveal it when your biggest deal breaker, and you both agreed on it, is somebody lying and not telling the truth. That was your window right there. For me, that was your window to go ahead and tell her, hey, since we're sharing truths, let me go ahead and drop this on you. Then she can go have that conversation with Lydia, like, girl, why you keep jumping up in my face every time I walk out here? Do you still want this man? Because he just told me that y'all was together. Now I can make a rash decision on, do I want to proceed, or should I start investing my time with somebody else? So, like, what was your purpose of holding on to that information and whatnot? I wish I got all the rest of it because I was on a good rant, but that's my summarization.
No, and you know what? Just add on to that. Well, I feel so bad. The crazy thing also too is that Lydia is, for me, dastardly, right? She's dastardly because this for you to know, because basically, obviously, Uche should have told Aliyah from the jump. I call her Aliyah, but it's a liar because some people are liars in this place. But Uche should have told her from the very beginning that, hey, look, I've dated somebody here already. They've met me, they've spoke to me, and I want to let you know ahead of time, just so that you're not blindsided by anything that happens, in the course of this show. He should have said that. But it's more dastardly that that the girl has come back and said, oh, I'm really feeling Uche, and you've already assessed who Uche is, and then you're starting to give her advice, saying, and then projecting yourself and talking about how I see myself in you. I can, you and me are so alike, and now all that advice you've been given is very dastardly. And it came to a point where even Aliyah, literally was talking to Uche, and she was like, hold on a minute, I'm just deep in it. The advice that she was giving me, she was saying certain things, and she didn't go all the way deep into it, but she realized that some of the things that she was saying, the way she was talking about you, yeah, it's making me feel uncomfortable. I just realized that now I see why some of that advice at the time wasn't really sitting well with me. Now I can really see that this advice was mad. And I think it was kind of processing in her mind, like, this is super wild, what you're telling me now, and what situation I find myself in. And then for her to then obviously go out, talk to Lydia, and Lydia's then adding this extra spice to the conversation, and it makes it even worse because Lydia then ended up lying by saying, oh my gosh, she ended up saying, that, they had a, what was it? They started from ground zero, and she said that, oh no, he agreed that we should start from ground zero. No, he didn't. He did not. That was your point originally, actually, Jay, about the ground zero. That was your original point. And so, yeah, when she said that about the ground zero, it's like, no, he didn't. And Netflix showed it in the very beginning of episode 4. He didn't say that. He said, I don't think we should, because we should actually, adhere to the process. But she added that in there again to add that insecurity into Aliyah again once more. And then further went on, dastardly again, wickedly again, went on further to start saying, oh, but has he told you about how ambitious? Has he told you about his new car? Do you know his favorite color is blue? It's royal blue, just like his car. Did you know about the fact that his house, he's got a big house? Do you know about Kobe, his dog? Kobe's dog loves me. Oh my God. And Kobe sees, when he sees me, he likes me. And then adding on to that, and I didn't even do it justice because there's about 40 or 50 other facts that she brought to the table. And then to add on to the fact that you now tell her too, oh, we slept together 3 months ago. No, you really are dastardly, because now you added that extra spice on top again, like it's a Chick-fil-A deluxe special, and you just and then you added that part on it, and it's crazy to me.
Well,
yes,
let me
Jay,
add
go
it.
for it.
Let me add it up real quick,
Go for
like a sweetie special, because she added some more stuff on top of it too. The fact that you sat here wrapped up with this girl as she proceeded to cry her eyes out and tell you, "I don't want to be hurt." As you're saying, "I'm your friend. We are each other. We are best friends. We're going to be all of this stuff like this." This girl is sitting in your lap saying, "I don't want to be hurt." And what the hell you go and do? Proceed to hurt her more by just opening up about everything. The synapse of the show is Love is Blind. I'm not supposed to know any of this stuff unless we ask each other. Why are you telling me? You wasn't telling me before I walked out here and told you he told me. You were holding all of this information in. Why can't you just continue to sit on this information like you did before? Why all of a sudden now I know his last name, his government, his socials? Like, I shouldn't know any of this stuff coming from you of all people. So when Aliyah ups and dips the way she did, it's like no surprise, really. You know what I'm saying? I just wish she didn't go back to Uche and tell him, "Oh yeah, we'll still work this out and we beat through it," or whatever. She just needed to continue to process until she dipped. But that girl is crazy. Lydia is not to be trusted. On top of it, she goes and tells Milton that she broke up with Uche. But you're asking in the beginning, can we work this out? Can we start all over? So did you break up with him? For real? I do believe that Uche, when he says that she blocked him because she couldn't handle seeing him moving on and doing other things. I do believe that part. But you didn't break up with him, sis. Not in your heart. Not for real. Okay. Thank you for catching up with all my other stuff too.
No worries at all. Sean, you were talking about production. Someone else has also mentioned your point earlier on as well. You wanted to mention that part that got that maybe that's the reason why Uche didn't say anything in the beginning. I still think he should have, but go for it.
Yeah, no, I think that due to the uniqueness of their scenario, the fact that those two knew each other and had a connection previously, production likely wanted to have a hand in how the information was disclosed. So I think they, and again, this is hypothetical, I don't know, but knowing that this is a produced show and it needs to be ready, it needs to be Love is Blind, and you have this unique scenario where two people who have dated each other in the past are now in the pods together. I think they wanted to have control over when that information was disclosed. So that's the only kind of out I'm giving him. But what I would say, and what I did say is, even still, if he was holding on to that fact and not going to share until he got the clear from production to do so, I think his harshness and the way that he came at Aliyah, should have been a lot more balanced, right? He should have definitely not come in her that way. And just back to Lydia really quick, it shouldn't be Aliyah, it should be Lydia, because Lydia is the liar, and we can't throw Uche a lie in there because I can't figure out how to make lie and his name work together. But Lydia is definitely, on some, single craziness, single cray-cray, wannabe best friend activity with the way she's going about it. And for me, you can't tell me, as much as she's saying she's speaking out of both sides of her mouth, because how she's saying she's supportive of their relationship, but then on the same breath doing things to undermine it and throw salt into their, their situation. Aliyah specifically said, I don't want to know. And Lydia proceeded to tell her everything that she didn't want to know. And she sat there and was, destroyed with all that information, So I just hope, that I know she left. I'm just hoping that she doesn't try to still maintain a friendship with Lydia after all of this, because that girl does not mean her well, should not be around her children to be, or anything like that. The lady is definitely Machiavellian with her antics and the way that she conducts herself.
I like how the second chance, soften some of your rah-rah, Shine. But don't forget how you felt, how quick Lydia spotted Uche in the thing. Don't forget to share how you felt that, because that was good too.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I think that in and of itself showed me the level of crazy that she had. Was the fact that she said she noticed his breathing. Like, that to me is you're unwell, ma'am. Because if you can hear my breathing and you notice that that's me, yeah. And then she went to tell that same story again, to repeat that back to Aliyah. Yeah, she's not. Yeah, she's not. She's not dealing with a full deck. Absolutely not. And just all the information she was running back is just wild stuff that you really don't need to share with anybody. If that's stuff that meant something to you, you can keep that in the vault. His dog and all that other stupidity. Like, lady, if it meant all that, if that was so important, then you two would still be together. And she has also a revisionist history problem, because she gonna tell a story and revise it to her benefit, whether it's with her and Milton, whether it's with her and Izzy, whatever the story is, it's gonna get revised by the time Lydia gets to telling it to somebody else. Now, I did temper my thoughts because I wanted to give you guys the challenge to give me, the opportunity to challenge me and give pushback, because we already had that conversation behind, without everybody seeing it. So you guys, whatever pushback you have for me, I think, listen, my thought was, if I was on the show and production told me not to, I wouldn't be sharing the information. And that's just me personally. My thoughts.
That's cute. You want to say you gave us room to give the pushback, but you used my pushback to temper yourself. I appreciate you, Sean. You lucky they missed the whole debate.
Didn't see it. No,
Truth
but I
be
think
told, it wasn't really a debate. I mean, I don't know where you were feeling or sensing, but I'm not like I said, I'm not like fighting for this
I didn't
thing.
say it was
I'm
a
just
heated debate. It's a debate. Debates are, you have your stance on your side and I have my stance on my side. That's what
I guess I just
are.
didn't fit. I guess it didn't feel that strong for me where I was like, oh, I'm debating you, Jay. I just felt like this was my perspective, and I felt
Debates
like
don't have to be strong, Sean. I know you used to the rah-rah of it all.
No. I'm not saying it needed to be strong. I'm saying it really wasn't a debate in my mind at all, because you just thought something and I thought something else, but I wasn't like trying to, say, oh, I'm standing strong in this opinion. I wasn't like staunch on it. Only thing I was staunch on saying is, at the end of the day, if I were Uche, if I was sitting in that chair and I stand on that, if production told me not to, I only know this girl for 3 days, I would not be sharing. That's my opinion. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be sharing it if production told me not to. I wouldn't feel that strongly about anybody in 3 days.
And in my stance, I'm here for my future. I know this is a rush situation, and emotions can develop from conversation. Good conversation, emotions can develop, especially for our sapiosexuals. So for me, my moral compass would have said, do what's best in Jay's heart. If I feel like this person is giving me their truth, my truth shall be set free at the same time too. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to hold back, and definitely not going to scorn or shame the person for their truth. If I'm not going to share it, or if I'm in that predicament I can't share, I'm definitely not about to shame them. So one way or another, production didn't make him do something. So, and I heard you fall back on that part after it was said because you didn't mention that at first, you know. So we give you that, I'll give you that room to say that you never mentioned if he had, you know, space not to shame her or not. But other than that, that'd be my spot.
Yeah, and you know, I think also with the Uche situation too, right? You know, I'm not gonna say he's diabolical, but it's diabolical the way he approached the situation with Aliyah when you're sitting on some bomb stuff. That is where I can't give him a pass of grace, because it's like you're sitting on this information that production told you can't say. Okay, fine. We've got past the part where you said production can't tell you. I can give you some grace and say, do you know what? Some people would, some people wouldn't. I'm not going to hold you to the fire for that, right? Because production have told you that. I get it. What I don't get though is the fact that you get to a point where she now shares her story with you and tells you about her ex who she cheated on, and you take this Super Saiyan perspective on the situation. I'm not against the line of fire in terms of the cross examination. It's more about the tone, the energy, the vim, the weight that you added to your interrogation this time. Why was it that you were able to add such weight when you had such a bomb waiting underneath you? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that for me personally is just like, yo, I'm like, so and for me, when he came out and told about the Lydia situation, I was like, you need to be held the same way that you was holding her accountable, because the way you was coming at her with full force, yeah, she needs to hold you the same way, because you literally knew you had something that you're sitting on that that could not even shatter anything, but necessarily could change things and make people feel some way or see things differently. And instead of you to be like, do you know what? Let me be compassionate. Let me be empathetic. This tells me even more dastardly that you would do the same thing in future. Because if you had a bomb waiting on your side and you still couldn't have empathy, yeah, you dangerous to me. You know what I mean? That you will do some more in future, because a lot of people would have been. You spoke so highly about your moral code. You spoke so highly about your integrity. You spoke so highly about how, and at what point you actually, at one point you actually compared yourself with her cheating and your cheating and made yourself of a higher echelon. So that for me then goes, wait, hold on a minute. You've uh you've not um you're not taking the right time here to just take your time and relax and just be like, hold on, let me not come at this girl in this particular way. So yeah, for me it's like, yeah, that was diabolical for you to do that, bro. Like, you know that you should have that chilled down, you know. So yeah, I don't personally like that, so that's why it's hard for me to give him the pass about production told me not to tell. And that's why I did a video, and I think my video didn't even come out because my audio had gone the whole entire 8 hours I was filming. But I said in the video, I said Aliyah shouldn't go. Aliyah can't be friends with Lydia, and she also can't choose Uche from now on, because you're a whole damn liar. And not only you're a whole damn liar, you held her feet to the fire, dunked her underneath the water, held her underneath the water, and drowned her like she was a witch, bro. Because of that, she cannot go back to this man. Personally, production or no production, who told you not to tell, you a whole damn liar. And so for that, I can't trust that you're not. And my thing is, if I'm Aliyah, I'm scared. Are you production and Lydia running game on me? I'm gonna start thinking all sorts of craziness. Are you guys running game on me? Are you trying to make me look like a dickhead on TV? Is that what are you trying to manipulate the situation to make me look like I'm crazy on TV? I'll be shook. So I can't even give any advice to Aliyah to go and date Uche, because at this point, you Uche are now part of production. Lydia, you're part of production. So since you said production didn't tell you, you're in it together. You're all part of the bunch I'm putting a flame to. You all gotta go. Flip, bye. You all gotta go. I can't trust any of y'all. I can't trust production, because you want to tell Uche not to tell me something that would affect my relation. And what's scary about it is, of course, it's an experiment, right? But it's the psychological damage it can actually do. This girl's sitting here telling us she's had girl situations where it's gone wrong before, and you allowed Lydia to get close to her have conversation, give her advice, tell her all this. I'm with you. You're like me. We're like besties. I see you as my sister. Yaga, 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 yaga. Watch her get railroaded by Uche. And I'm even supporting Uche at that point. Railroad by Uche. And meanwhile, you're all in cahoots. Yeah, you can all go and do one. Yeah, you can all go and do one. When my contract's up, I'm spilling the beans. All of you gonna get it, including producers. Some of you producers who are running around looking in my face, saying, "Are you okay?" and you ain't tell me nothing. You're all gonna get out. Your name and everything, you're gonna get out. Yeah, Nicole Roberts, you was out here telling me daga daga. You was looking in my face. Meanwhile, you knew. Like it's almost like when someone cheats on you and everybody else in the town knows, but you. That is scary. Yeah, I'm sorry. Nah, I'm sorry. And also, I noticed something. I don't know. My final point. Earlier in the season, I asked this question: why is it that they showcased her answers about her being freaky? Now, she wasn't the only one. I think they asked Johnnie as well. So, but I was a little bit concerned. I was like, why are they showing her answers about about being freaky? Because I was like, I don't like that. I don't like the fact that you as a black woman, as a dark-skinned woman too, I felt like, you know what, this line of questioning is going to paint you in a particular way. Now, don't get just, I know you're a bit of a freak, but it's just the fact they're showing you specifically talking about the freak stuff. And that made me feel some type of way as well. Like they're trying to put you in a particular place, and I don't like that. And then they've done this too. Yeah, you know what? Flame to all of you. Flame to all of you. But shout out to production because y'all put on a good show. I ain't gonna lie to you, you know what I'm saying? It's ethically not right, but still flame to you guys, you know what I'm saying? So I gotta hold two sides, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? We can hold you accountable, and we can also say that, I put on a good show. You know what I mean? Anyone else got thoughts?
I didn't know Sean was still there. Yeah, that's a good point because mentally they're stuck in the pods for like weeks. So this is isolation. And, if you ever been into incarceration or some type of thing where you put into isolation, some people, that's mind breaking, for one. Then the girl, I believe she was running around saying that how she don't really trust people, that and the third. She's proceeding to cry to tell this person that she deems as a good friend or whatever, how she doesn't want to be hurt and all this. Y'all are basically breaking the buck at this point right now. Like, you can mentally F this girl for life on not trusting anybody, period. Like, and y'all already got a bad record now on Netflix. Y'all already kind of got a bad record with the mental health of it all. So y'all might want to be careful on playing some of these games. And if, Sean's theory is to be true, you in production are holding people's like lives in your hand and their mental state in your hands, and you're playing with it by doing some stuff like this. If this man is sitting here saying, I need to tell her this, I need to tell her this, let that man go ahead and tell her. You still get your TV. You still get it. Don't interfere and say, don't say this. I need you to hold on to this information or whatnot and stuff. That, and the third. At least if you want him not to tell the rest of the cast, because I get that part. I don't want to mess up nobody's relationship. And I got where Lydia said that part where she was like, oh, well, I'm not trying to, if I told everybody, it might jeopardize his chances of getting somebody here. I get that part of it all. But at least say, well, when you find your one, feel free to share that. Or if you find your moment to share your information, please share your information. Because like, there's so many moments he could have sat there and told, I slept with this person or whatever the case may be. And I just don't want y'all to feel no type of way. I don't mess with her no more. We've already agreed that we're not going to see each other in the pods, this, that, and the third. We stay away from each other. That's like, so I don't understand, but it is what it is. I feel bad for Aliyah, and when she comes back, I hope she continues to move on forward. I hope she don't listen to that phone call and that message telling her, I wanted you to be my wife, yada, yada, yada. Like, yeah, okay, bro. Move along.
Madness in the dunya. Go for it, Sean. Do you want to add there?
Yeah, I'm glad we're all utopian up here and, talking about, all these great things and how honorable we're going to be. But this is a reality show, And yes, we could say what we would want to happen in the real world, but we know when folks sign up for these reality shows, they got contracts. And in real life, we don't have a contract. When I'm dating you, you know, if you and I were dating, we wouldn't have a contract and people trying to intervene and also worrying about things showing up on TV and things like that. We get to move how we move, right? And yes, are these examples of how people conduct themselves in the real world? Sure. And perhaps Uche would have made the same decision if Lydia so happened to be a friend of Aliyah, you know, in passing, and he might not have said anything, or maybe he would have. I don't know. You know, to me, I think the biggest issue is that he was so heavy with her. And, you know, I did say that in the first part of what I was talking before everybody saw it. I think he should have tempered the way he spoke and how he addressed Aliyah when when he talked to her about her cheating, right? He should not have been so strong with her. Absolutely, you know? And I think that at the end of the day, if you know you got something in your back pocket and for whatever reason you're unable to tell it, you should be moving with a little bit of like, hey, let me just, you know, give her some grace, because I too can relate to holding information, right? And not telling things when I should have told them. So that's the part I agree with. When he told her, hey, I don't really think it's a big deal because it's a reality show I'm watching. So that's how I view it. Again, it's not something I'm going to die on the wall about, because I really don't care that much. But I do, I do feel like, hey, listen, it could be a production issue here, and he should have not been so heavy-handed with Aliyah in the beginning. But I respect her for making the right choice and for removing herself from the situation. I just hope she removes herself from Lydia too. I hope she don't, fall back into that she's my best friend, because that, to me, all of that stuff, all that she's going to be the aunt of my children, that speaks to her judgment for me, because you only known this woman for a few days, and y'all are sliding down the walls together, telling each other secrets, and she's doing the exact opposite of what you asked. That is not a good person. If I look at you and I say, hey, listen, I'm in a tough spot right now, this is what happened to me, I'm going to ask that you please not do X, and you turn around and do X and still want to give me a hug, then that's a problematic behavior. That's somebody who does not mean you any well. And she doesn't mean her well, and she definitely doesn't mean Uche and their relationship any well. Because at the end of the day, she was wanting to have them back. She wanted, not them, but she wanted, maybe she want a throuple. I don't know. Maybe that's on Lydia's list too. But at the end of the day, she was asking Uche, couldn't they give this another shot? Which is also equally problematic. So again, Lydia can't be trusted, and Uche definitely reeks of some hypocrisy.
I like it. Any other thoughts left on this before we shift it? Are we good with that? We exhausted it?
No, I just don't feel like tussling with Sean on his moral ground. So
I like to hear these tussles, please, guys. I like to hear these tussles. The money rolls in when you guys tussle.
I don't know. We just got two different moral grounds and stuff. I mean, if you sign a contract and you want to follow your production company because you probably didn't read your contract all the way through, that's fine by me. But me, I signed a contract to sign up for reality TV. My reality is I'm going to tell whoever I want, whatever I want. If you don't air it, that's on you. That's what you want to do with it. You want to chop it up and rearrange it some other way, that's fine too. But when the people talk about me on the show, they're going to know I'm like Candy Burrs. I'm stand up. I ain't about to tell you no lie, whatever, and stuff like that, because I ain't got to. You ain't going to whoop me. You ain't going to punish me. So what you gonna do? You gonna kick me off the show, not pay me? Fine, go home. But I'm here to find love. That's what I'm signed up to do. Now, if I'm here acting, that's a whole different thing. Because in my head, I got a script. I'm already playing a role. But if I'm going to be me, me is going to do what I want because that's what me does. Period. I don't care what job it is. Me does what me wants to do.
Now, Sean, would you like to reply to that?
I mean, is there a response? I think I would just be repeating myself. And I understand. I respect that, Jay. I do. But first of all, this is why I don't go on reality TV, right? This is why you see me on YouTube, where I get to say my opinion and I'm not held accountable to a contract. Me, the way I operate, and I guess this is my mind, right? You know, at work, I have a contract. There's certain things I can and cannot do. And I adhere to that. And that's just my personality, right? So if I'm on a reality show and if I made the decision to get on a reality show and I have a contract, I'm going to adhere to that contract, right? Because I don't want to be in breach of anybody's contract if I've decided to sign up for a show. Right now, I would talk to the producers and I'd say, hey, listen, can we, is there a way we can do this? I want to disclose the truth. I want to have this conversation with her. But if they say yes, but we want to wait till XYZ point, or we want you to wait till we see that the relationship is more serious and you guys are moving in a different direction and we've got things lined up, right? We want to wait to see if Lydia is possibly going to be eliminated and then it's a non-issue, whatever it may be. I'm going to go along with that. And I respect you for saying, hey, listen, because there's always those people that are in reality shows, right? You see the people, they're like, I don't care. I'm going to say what I want to do. I'm going to do what I want to do. And whether it bucks up against production or not, I'm just not the person that's going to do that. And that's my opinion. I don't think I'm wrong and you're right, or vice versa.
Just wonder if there's a rebuttal from the other side. Maybe
like
not.
I say, shine, you can do what you want. If they tell you don't hold it to yourself, hold it to yourself. Do you, boo-boo. Me, my contract was signed and says I'm going to be on the show and whatever I say is of fair use. Whatever I say is of fair use. That's the contract. So I have my say. So for one, I'm damn sure not about to shame the girl if I'm holding on to something, regardless if I want to hold on to it for the right timing or because they told me to do it, I'm going to shut my mouth somewhere. So if I'm going to shut it on that, I'm going to shut it on the fact that she's telling me her truth. But I'm going to use that opportunity that she's telling me her truth. Oh, yeah, this is a perfect time for me to insert it, whether production likes or not. They get their TV show. If they don't want to air what I say, then that's fine by me. But I'm not going to sit here and allow somebody that says they put me on a reality TV show to film my reality to dictate what's real to me. What's real is I slept with that woman. You're telling me your truth. Here's my window of opportunity. I'm jumping through it. I got your truth. Well, hey, guess what? Here's my truth too. There's somebody here on this cast I have messed with. Now we can go with the conversation from there and you can figure out who it is. And then I can proceed to tell you or whatever. But in all fairness, if you're giving me your truth and I'm trying to make an actual connection with you, I don't care if this is reality TV, because once I leave here, production does not leave with me. Once we're done with this process, production is not going to be there anymore. So if I'm actually saying I'm considering you as my person, in real life, I got it in my notebook that you are my one. Every time I come up in here, I'm drawing stars and hearts by your name. And all fairness is I should be able to give you that respect that I sat there and said, I don't want a dishonest person in my life. So me being in my own life, I cannot be dishonest too and withhold information from you when I'm asking for transparency and honesty from you. That's just crazy to me. And I know that's the part we definitely agree on, Sean, or that part. And that's why I'm saying, for me, I wouldn't have been able to hold it with no matter with whom is telling me I need to hold on to this to make their show. I'm not here just for your show. I'm here for my life. You're pairing me with somebody that I'm supposed to be married to, and I take marriage seriously. And that's just me. So it's like, I don't want to do this the wrong way. I'm not jumping on the show to be a part of an experiment. This is not just your this is my life. Like, that's serious to me. But, you know, to each his own, because he made his choice. This is his choice. So he didn't tell, and we see the results of it.
Strong backhand there by Jay. Do you want to return with a forehand, Sean?
Not the tennis match.
No, I do not.
Return
with a forehand. Move it on.
Yeah.
That was the graceful Roger Federer backhand.
You're not gonna guess this.
Rafael Nadal forehand.
Really not. It's just really not.
We have ended on that man's decision. We ended on that was his man's decision, and we seen the outcome.
This is
we seen the outcome of the decision, so Sean don't have to make a decision.
Just saying, it was beautiful to watch. It's Djokovic, Federer, championship points were going on the left and right, you know, back and forth. I didn't want to see it end. That's all. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna go Coco golf on you and kick the referee. The referee ain't calling the right play because you crazy. We sitting down on a break right now. This is not a tennis match at all. The show is not even.
You're right. It is a break. And you just get up in a second or two.
Trust me, but this ain't it.
You gotta get up. You gotta get up in a minute or two to serve again, Sean. So I'll be really ready.
Well, let's talk about something else.
In your pocket.
Let's reset the match and switch sides.
Don't worry, I got y'all. But you know, listen, no, you two are both making great points, and I you know, again, it comes down to the individual, the human mind and how the person perceives these situations. You know, so yeah, it's interesting to see the two different perspectives in that as well. So you know, Uche decided he wasn't going to tell. You know, and that left Aliyah in a bit of a pickle, and it may cost him the relationship with Aliyah in the long term, right? So he actually may lose the relationship with her in the long term because he didn't say it, because things escalated, unfortunately. And that's why I think, going back to his original point about integrity, why he should have said something. You know, I think that's why overall he should have said something, because due to him not saying something, it snowballed. Now, of course, he wanted to keep the experiment going. And actually, I've even got a thing up that I can read for you guys as well. Sorry, what have I done that? I'm gonna bring you guys back. Sorry, it was on Yahoo, and it was talking about the situation. So I wanted to go and see, and it says that Love Is Blind wasn't so blind this season, with two of the singles, Uche and Lydia, actually realizing they had already met and dated before when they first talked in the pod. So did producers know about their past beforehand? The fact that Lydia and Uche not only knew each other but had prior romantic relationship was a complete surprise to me. Series creator Chris Colleen tells our sister site Variety, noting that their dating history somehow escaped the Netflix dating show's vetting process. I was totally blindsided. It was a complete shock. To be honest, it was like, what are we going to do? Nobody had an idea. Once the producers learned about their past, Colleen pulled Uche and Lydia aside and told them we felt the right choice was for them to leave the experiment. But Uche and Lydia were both absolutely crushed by this, he says, and expressed a tremendous desire to stay and continue. They also both confirmed they had absolutely no interest in other, he recalls. So the producers agreed to let them stay if they did not immediately tell people about their history, since it was only the first day in the pods. We all felt that the information wasn't relevant, and we all agreed revealing it would have been destructive to everyone's overall experience. Colleen remembers, but once Uche and Lydia started making real connections with other people in the pods, Uche with Aliyah and Lydia with Milton, they were free to discuss their past history with anyone they chose to, Colleen reveals. There's now a whole lot of stuff we can get into, but yeah. So producers obviously let them stay, but underneath the premise of obviously not allowed to say the truth at the beginning.
You can make this case, but the thing is, it says immediately because it was day one in the pods. Day 2, day 3, they were free. They could say it at any time after day 1.
Between episode 3 and 4 is when he shared it with her.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But anytime after that, so when she gave her thing, and I know we both kind of agreed to a degree on this, when she gave her truth, that was his window. He should have gave it right then, because that's not day one. She's not sharing her truth on day one. She's sharing it some days later. So instead of shaming her, he should have just said, you know what? I hear you and your truth. I appreciate you for that. I got my own.
And I agree with you.
Do you? I mean, the ball went slightly out of the.
No,
the,
it didn't.
the court.
You guys, you want to make
it
an
dropped outside
argument
the
like
court.
this. Now you're getting on
you
my
can
nerves.
hit it back.
Now we're going to have a debate because you wanted to be a debate. It's not. Did you? I just said Uche was hypocritical. It's like,
sure?
why do we want to make this a thing? There's plenty of topics organically we can debate about. I'm not going to debate this with you guys. And
this
what
not
I
a
just
debate
said,
anymore.
what I
just want to make sure
said,
you don't want to slice the ball back into the play.
There's nothing to slice because actually what the article said just reinforces the point I was making.
Calm down. Because my point was
I am calm. Too. I'm just annoyed that we're going to make this a whole thing like it's a debate, and it's really not. Listen, you guys know full well when I'm willing, when I feel strongly about something and I want to debate it, I'm gonna go balls to the wall.
A little strong right now, my guy.
I'm just doing I'm learning from the best. Netflix have taught me well, so just trying to engineer a little bit of sneaky tactics in there, Sean. Don't worry. I'm just trying to tease a little bit of the energy in there. Don't worry about that, okay? All right. The ball was well and truly out, and the game set in the match, and the game is over. So we'll move it on, okay? But let's talk about another couple then. Let's talk about another couple that maybe we'll tussle over. We'll see. Milton. Well, I say we haven't finished because actually Milton and Lydia had their situation going on, and my question is this also. There's a question aside this as well. Was it Uche's place to try and tell him that he's not ready for a relationship? He's not ready for Lydia. And by the way, also he spoke very fondly of Lydia in the pods with Aliyah, and Lydia kind of just slightly digged at him a little bit. You know what I mean? But I would be questioning his character resume when you tell me that Lydia's a great person, you can trust her, she's amazing, and then we see this kind of behavior coming from her. So I mean, but yeah, Milton and Lydia, their situation was a little bit political. 24, she's 30, and she only went with him because after Izzy had rejected her. And now Milton, obviously not very attuned with his emotions himself. He's admitted that himself. And he is, a rock lover. He loves his geo rocks. And, they seem to be getting on. They were getting on at the beginning like a house on fire, talking about rocks. And then, later on, we see, we see how, the situation between them two unfolds, right? Because, Milton starting to realize that maybe this might not be the relationship for him. And, Lydia sensing that, put on the extra sauce to make sure that he stayed. She's like, I miss you. I like you. I can't wait to hug you. She really put on the burners on that, man. She put herself on the boosters and went for it. So I want to get your thoughts on Milton. Too young, too soon, too naive, Lydia too smart for him. Like, what's your thoughts on this particular part of the show? Last 4 episodes. Talk to me, people. Talk to me. Who wants to serve up the first tennis ball? Go for it, Sean. Those white shorts looking good on you.
What'd you say?
I said the white shorts look good on you, sir.
The white shorts? Go away from me, Kojo. Please. Cut the crap. So, yes, he's absolutely too young. Absolutely too young. Too inexperienced. And I just can't, she's going to run circles around this guy. And I think, like, at the end of the day, the main issue with her is what we've said in the past. It's like Milton is not her first choice. She's always thought her initial reaction was that he was too young for her. The only reason she entertained him was because she got the boot by Izzy, because Izzy was experienced and smart enough to peep her cray-cray from across that pod wall and be like, yeah, it's going to be a no for me, big dog, and kept it trucking. Now here she comes, tail wagging back over to Milton, giving him a shot, and he's not astute, unfortunately, enough to know that he needs to move away from Lydia, rather. I think, and this is just, I don't think it's a big deal, but I guess this is just, I guess I'm going to say it, and people may feel the same way, or it might be like, oh, I never thought about that. But I don't like when people curse at each other, like in a relationship setting, and call each other effing stupid, or you're so effing dumb, or you're so effing crazy. I don't like that. And I mean, Lydia is effing crazy, though. I do understand that, but he's doing it in a tongue-in-cheek kind of way. And he likes her. So I don't think you should do that with anybody that you like. I just don't like that talk. I think as much as you think it's being fun, it's being cute, it actually speaks to his age, and it speaks to his immaturity, because I feel like, and this I learned, this is something I had to learn in my marriage. And I'm a sarcastic person, if anybody that knows me knows I could be sarcastic. And we used to do that, and my ex-wife was sarcastic too. So we used to take shots at each other sarcastically and kind of play the dozens. But sometimes it got personal, or sometimes somebody took it too personally, myself or herself. And then it's like, oh, you're like, oh, we're just joking. I think that people should speak love in their relationships, especially very early on. I'm not saying we can't have fun, we can't have a joke, we can't laugh. If I slip and fall, you shouldn't laugh at me. No, absolutely. We shouldn't be in a stern, like stiff environment, but we shouldn't also be lax with the way that we talk about each other. I shouldn't say you're effing stupid, or if you make a mistake or you misspeak and I'm like, you're dumb, right? No, I don't think we should speak that way to each other, because I think it sows seeds of negativity. I think we should be cautious with the way that we're talking to one another, because that reflects how we feel about each other at the end of the day. Right. And if, like Jay, me and you, right, we respect each other, we'll joke, we might have an argument, we might disagree, but in no sense you're going to say something and then I'm going to like take a jab at you and then laugh at it. I don't like that, me personally. Some people, it can rock with them. Just for me, when I saw that, I think that just is very immature, and it also sets the stage for things to not be as healthy in terms of the communication that you need to have. And he already struggles with communication, and she over communicates, and she has the issue with the truth. So I think it's just too much. It's a hotbed of problems going on there. So yeah, I think that's it in a nutshell at this point about those two.
I agree with you on the name calling part, but I also say that she was going on it at first too, because she was calling him all kind of little nerds and all that stuff. So him being so naive, I won't say young, because some people are mature at that age and some people are not, but him being so naive to a lot of things, and so much so that he calls her emotionally mature, which she is clearly not. He's going off of her with the name calling, like you're a nerd, you're this, you're weird, you're that. So he's now feeling comfortable enough to respond back with the same thing, because he's looking at them like, oh, we're both into the same stuff, we both kind of have a degree in the same thing or whatnot, we both have a language barrier from him growing up in Japan and whatnot, and her being Puerto Rican. There's so much common things. He's feeding off of her. Of course, she's already taken the lead in a lot of stuff for him. That's a problem or whatnot. I go with that part, as well as it's so many red flags between this. You already mentioned that she's circling the block only because she got dumped by somebody else, where she was automatically putting her all into that person already. Now, so all of a sudden she's swinging over here, putting her all into here. We heard with Uche that she was 100% in there. Like, sis, you're too much too soon with anybody, because you're not even standing on your standards of saying he's too young, I don't want to date nobody this young or whatnot, just to not find anybody else in this process and say, you know what, fine. And not only say fine, let me see where you're at, but kind of force yourself upon him on top of it. Talking about, oh no, I really like you, I love you, I'll do any of this, I'll do all this for you, babe, this, babe, that. Like, where'd this come from? And to tell him, oh, just yesterday, no, I wasn't thinking about you. Yeah, yesterday you're too young. Well, today he ain't no older. 36 hours don't make him much older than he was yesterday. Like, what are you talking about? So there's nothing but problems that's going to happen here. He's sharing one of his most vulnerable moments with her, and she just interrupts and is like, let me talk. Well, let me land. We see how this relationship is going to go. And you know, y'all like spicy, but I know, Shawnee, you already like, yeah, this goes with pepper 100 for me. I can't, that's too much. And like you said, Izzy picked her crazy. That's because Izzy got his own set of crazy too. You know, Izzy is one of the brothers that want you into him, but then if you get too into him, he don't want you no more. So that's a whole different thing with Izzy or whatnot. But she was too in too fast for him. Milton is not versed in the world enough with people. He gives me really introvert, into his little toys, gadgets, Pokemons, rocks. People, not so much. For me, I think Milton needs way more experience than to be in this show, especially with his upbringing, his age, his profession. There's a lot more that he needs to do first before he actually commits to a relationship, especially with somebody at Lydia's magnitude. She's way too much for him. I'm so sorry. So he proposed. I don't know if this is going to work out too long, too fast. And I really think she just want to attach to somebody so she can get back out there to see Uche Simone. She's really hoping that Aliyah and Uche make it so she can get her butt out there to see him. So that's where I'm at with that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and I think Jay, you mentioned it. The part that really sparked that I said there's going to be a big problem is when he was sharing his intimate moment, and she said, "Are you going to let me talk?" And I said, that is the beginning of the disrespect already. Like, that's going to continue, and if he doesn't shut that down, which he's not going to, it's going to escalate into further incidents in the future in a relationship. Because he's already called her spicy, which what you really mean is she rude. You know, she do a little bit too much for you, Milton, but you ain't gonna say that. And she has some level of power within this relationship, and what she's leaning on is the ability to manipulate him. She knows when she starts to put on the, you know, I'm gonna do this for you, I'm gonna like you, you know, I'm gonna be like, this is a 24-year-old kid who is too naive for this show. When I say too naive in the sense of not that he doesn't know anything, but you think you know something, but you're dealing with a 30-year-old woman who's seasoned. You know, someone saying to you, so you are not going to be able to play her, especially with the demeanor and the posture that you're bringing to the screen that I'm seeing. I just can't see you being able to overturn it, right? Because you look in the position between you and her, it always looks like you're trying to almost grab some approval. So I saw that and I was like, I'm not feeling Lydia for Milton. And you know, I get it. You know, you're young, you're probably infatuated by this older woman who's showing interest in you. You know, you're getting a little bit spun. You know, you're getting a little bit spun. You know, there's an age gap between you two. Is you're feeling real mature, and maybe you think you're really mature as well. At 23, you're thinking you're really mature in your particular ways, and then you've met this woman, and you know, you're thinking that you're on the same level, and maybe you are on the level of same maturity, but in terms of her knowing about life things, life experiences, how she deals with things, she got him cooked and cooked well. And that for Milton is a scary place to be in, you know. And all it took was for him to be a bit more vulnerable. And she said suddenly she finds him attractive and wants to take it to the altar, you know. Because he was more vulnerable. I was like, okay then. Hey, Let me leave it there. Go on for it, Sean.
Yeah, I just feel like, you know, even their gift exchange, right? When she gave him, which I thought was a thoughtful gift, she gave him the rock and he gave her some type of blow up stuffed animal,
It was
whatever
a
that
bee.
thing.
It was a bee, but her color,
Yeah.
favorite color was yellow. That's what it was.
Okay, he couldn't have got her a yellow stone or something else yellow. He got her a stuffed animal that he looks like you wanted it, you know, at the fair somewhere. It's like, bro, like that's super. I just thought it was like super immature. And I just think it just showed his age again. And then when she went to disclosing to him that she's dated Uche in the past, and he went to sliding down the couch, you know, I don't know if I don't necessarily think he was crying, but I think he was overwhelmed, right? So I won't say he was crying sliding down the wall, but he did slide down that couch a bit.
He needed some time alone too.
And he needed a break, right? So, and rightfully so, because it was a lot to take on. That should have been his first instance to get the hell away, right? Get the hell away. So, for him to give her another shot, meanwhile, she proposed to him. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, don't tell me he proposed. She proposed to him. That's more than a layup. That's more than an alley-oop. She put the ball in the basket, and all he did was stand there up underneath the basket, you know, and looked like he threw it in, but she really threw it in, landed the shot, and pretty much that's it. She did everything but get her ring, which, knowing Lydia, she probably told him exactly what kind of ring she wants, and that was that. So I just think this is a recipe for disaster. I'm not sure why he still wants to move forward with her. And unfortunately, that's just going to show us that, you know, he's under her spell. And I think Lydia, this is, I mean, if this wasn't love bombing, she love massacred him. I mean, everything was like, yes, 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 yes. Can I play video games? Yes, 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 yes. Can I do this? Yes, 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 yes. If I get sick and I grow ill, yes, 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 yes. Don't say that. Shut up. Stop talking. You're going to be fine. But no matter what happens, I'm going to take care of you. It's like, lady, nobody says yes to all these things. You're lying, ma'am. Ma'am, just go sit down, relax, like breathe.
Hiroshima.
Yeah, it was like a love massacre. I'm like, come on. This lady is like, it's too much. It's not even believable. It's not even believable. I don't, and this is why I'm saying he's just too young. It's like he doesn't have the maturity to deal with the situation. Because even me at 24, if somebody was talking to me like that, I'd be like, okay, all right, okay. And then, you know, because you can't say anything to her, probably she would have a meltdown. You know, she would tear that wall down. She would tear.
The thing
If you tried to break up with her, it would be a wrap.
At 24, you would have just been like, yeah, I hear you. Like, yeah, whatever. But it's not that it's too young. It's age-wise, mentally. Bro is too young. Like, you don't have no experience to deal with this woman at this level. You know what I'm saying? She literally walked into the room, and I'm glad you mentioned, because that's where I was about to go to. Walked in the room and was like, do you forgive me? Yes. Okay, we're gonna get married. Say what now? Like, girl, I just said I was gonna forgive you. Like, I hear your truth. How we jump to we already getting married? Like, enough to propose to me? Or are we gonna do this? Like, sis, slow down. And anybody in their right mind would is just like, put a pause on it, chill out. I gotta process all of this, whatever, and I'll come back with my decision. My decision is no. Like, you're too much. He's been way too sheltered all his life. I don't know what interactions he's had with anybody or whatever. And I know it's supposed to be some talk that he had a girlfriend that he broke up with before he got here, but that must have been the only girlfriend he's ever had, because you have no clue of this manipulation this woman is putting on you. She just told you that she was sleeping with somebody else who 5 minutes ago was in your ear telling you that you should not propose to her. You guys don't even know the difference between an ice chest and a cooler, meaning that they're the same daggone thing. You looking around the whole room for this igloo that's sitting right in front of you with your cup and book on it. You are not a match outside of these rocks. You guys can be work colleagues, whatever, friends, this, that, and the third, but let this grown woman go on about her way. Go find somebody that she really wants. And this is where I stand with y'all, Stan. If you do not, Sean, if you do not want me, please don't circle the block back on me. Please don't, because you let me go the first time. You written me off when you said I was too young for you. You came back in here, written me off again, telling me, well, yesterday I was too young for you, but today I still is. Well, ma'am, I'm still too young. Please go on, find your person that's your age. Leave me alone. There's probably some other women up in here. If not, I'll figure it out. So at 24, ain't no person was running this game on me. I'm sorry. By then, I had too much experience, though. So that's where I like. He needs more experience. This is not the process for him at all.
Yeah, I just don't understand how she went from wanting Izzy the day before to, hours later, however many hours it was, or a day or two. And now Milton, she's in love with him and can see that she wants him to be forever.
Don't forget to add on the rekindling of Uche before that too.
Yep. She was willing to rekindle with Uche too. So this is now the third guy that she was considering in a span of a week or two. That to me is a lot. And that's definitely somebody that is emotionally not prepared for dating. So, and two of the people, Milton knew about, right? He knew about Izzy, and he knew about he knows about himself, obviously. The only thing I want to give Milton credit for is not being super forthright and being intentional about not talking too much about his connections with the other fellas. I think he's dead on with that. However, we saw how that worked out for Izzy and Chris, because they leveraged their conversations for the good. So, but I do think he is best to not be talking with Uche, because Uche already over here lying, talking about what he's not ready to do to Aliyah. So yeah, Uche is not to be trusted. So I think Milton has some discernment, just not with Lydia.
That was good serve, Sean. I like that. That was nice. Yeah, no, listen, with Milton, yeah, I definitely think that, there's a lot of naivete involved. But that scene with where she came and told him about Uche, I wouldn't even say that's even to do with maturity, but emotional maturity. And that's not even an age thing. That's just a lot of people don't know how to be emotionally mature, right? And I think in that moment when she was telling him, he wasn't being honest about his feelings. Brother was in the shits. He was in the sunken place, and he was suffering, right? When he heard it. In his head, it's like another issue again. And instead of actually being honest about how he felt, it got to a point where he said, I just need 5 minutes. Why did you need 5 minutes if you're cool? If every single time you're good, why did you need 5 minutes? Because you weren't good. And he never expressed that he felt some type of way in that part of the scene. And I was like, yo, bro, just tell her the truth. You're feeling some type of way, right? But he wanted to so badly look so cool, and he was so confident about it. It left him in a place where, bro, like now you've been shot by this situation. It hurts, and it's okay. You know what I mean? You can be okay. My thing, I saw it a little bit differently, Sean. I was like, when he didn't listen to Uche, I was like, wait, hold on. I would be listening to Uche if I was you, sir, because Uche is saying what everyone else is saying to you in the group. But I think it's the way that Uche delivers information once again. That's why it got rejected. So he said it in a very direct manner, just the same way he spoke to Aliyah, without really it coming with some compassion, empathy, and really seeing the fact that he's 24, he's young, deliver it in a way that he'll be able to receive it. But he dropped it again, like, you know what, you ain't ready for marriage, did it, and it's like Milton's gonna dig his heels in, because probably doesn't want to look like he's wrong, or doesn't want to make it look like, you know what, he doesn't know what he's doing, you know, amongst older people. That could be a trigger too. So I was just like, it's a shame, you know, that situation is played out the way it does. So for me personally, yeah, Uche should have delivered that properly. But Paul Milton, man, he's a stickler in the situation. He should hopefully he gets an opportunity to run away, but he might not. He might actually go to the old term finish, you know. But yeah, 24. What does he know? He doesn't know anything. He's still wet behind the ears, as you guys would say. But it's not just that, he hasn't got much experience in that area. He doesn't talk like somebody who's got experience. So he gonna F around and find out. That's what's gonna happen. Yeah. Siwei, how you doing, Siwei? You right?
Hey, I'm sure I missed a whole lot.
Oh, you missed it, baby. You missed it. We even rerun the show and you still missed it.
No.
But I know. But don't worry, we're just asking you to put your tennis shorts on and put your racket in your hand. Listen, we're talking obviously about Milton and dealing with Lydia. Want to get your thoughts on that situation from your perspective?
Yeah, I didn't hear everything that you guys said, so stop me if I repeat something. But I think Milton is just super, super emotionally immature, and I think he's also probably dealing with a little bit of male pick me mixed with a little dark arts in his back pocket. I think he really wants to be picked by somebody. Maybe he hasn't been picked by a whole lot of people in the past, but I think he's gonna turn around and gonna flip it on Lydia, and it's not gonna end well for her, because he already knows that she's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. That's why he was running out of the room like he had ants in his pants. And he really shouldn't have came back, but I think he wants to be picked and go through this process and get the attention so bad that he's putting up with it. So that's what I think, and I just don't think you should have 24-year-olds on this show, but they do it on purpose to be toxic. So there you have it. That's what I think. Is that what you guys said? Okay.
No, you gave your unique Seaway take to it. Definitely threw a pick me shit in there at Milton. That was the curveball we were not expecting.
He's a male. He's a male. It's a male pick me's too. It could be some male pick me's.
He actually made a good point about a male pick me. Actually, I genuinely actually agree with you in terms of Milton. I think he does want to be picked. I think when he tells his whole story about his whole life, it does give that effect. You know, he's been through some hardships, through some hard times, you know, and I think he did want to be picked. I think he wanted to, you know, and it's, again, 24, a 30-year-old woman choosing you. It's nice. You know what I mean? National television. It's something to write home back to your boys. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if he will fully go through it either, but I hope that he's not going to get spun enough to go through it. He'll regret that if he does. But I'm sure his family will get to him in time. You know what I mean? I'm sure they'll get to him in time in that space. So, yeah, I definitely agree with that part. I think he wants to be picked. I can't deny that particular part. Any other thoughts on Milton and Lydia before we shifted and move it? Any other thoughts? No. Fantisto. Okay, let's go then. Izzy. We've got Izzy and Johnnie, and Stacy. And I guess you can add Chris into it as well, into that fold as well. Situations got serious. I know with you know, Izzy and Stacy, they managed to make it happen, but at the expense of Johnnie and at the expense of Chris, unfortunately. But Chris and Izzy shared some key information that led to Chris choosing himself and not going down the path of going back to Johnnie. I mean, Sean did very correctly predict how Johnnie would reel his ass back in, and there we saw Johnnie trying to reel Chris's ass back in. Come here, boy. And so honestly, if it had not been for Izzy, he would have been gone, because he was, even when he got the information, he was still considering it. And she really put on the tip top press, man. She made sure, like, yo, I'm feeling you, I'm liking you, you're my second, you know. But the only part was that she fluffed up. How you gonna call a brother a safe choice and think it's cute? Yeah. How you gonna think? That's when I realized you got some game, but you learn from the wrong master. Okay, who told you to tell somebody that they're a safe choice? That's never in any book gonna get you anywhere. Okay, that's not getting you no punani. That's not getting you get a ring. It's not getting you nothing. Don't ever call nobody a safe choice. It ain't never gonna be sexy and seductive. Okay, she fluffed up, but you know she tried to put a good effort in. She became a little bit of a hater and a bitter person towards the end. And you know, she was dropping bars on everybody. And then Stacy too. Stacy's, you know, gave in and said, you know, she wants to listen to, you know, she wants to give herself over a little bit to Izzy, and that she's trying to be more vulnerable. Love it. Izzy too said, great, fantastic. He's about that life. He wants to see more of that vulnerable side of Stacy. And you know, they're gonna live happily ever after in Never Never Land. So let's get your thoughts on Johnnie, Chris, and Izzy and Stacy. What were your thoughts, guys? How did you guys see it? You know, because Johnnie damn well lied, you know, as well too. So her and thingy on Cocoa Pop Scoozies. Go for it.
You know that Dave Chappelle, when keeping it real goes wrong, that's what was going on here with Johnnie. I know there's a part of dark arts where we talk about how the truth can work in your favor or whatnot and telling the truth, but it's a fine line of what you disclose within the truth, that it stays somewhere in the gray. And Johnnie was just giving her truths all over the place, thinking that it was going to help her out. And I give her the fact that she kept it consistent. Okay, so I got to believe this was her actual truth. She wasn't even lying, because she went from Izzy to Chris to Izzy to Chris and kept telling them, well, Chris is a safe choice and you're my risk. You're my this, you know, this, you're my greatness, you're my everything or whatever. But I can see a future with Chris. I see how it is. I see how everything would be with him. Then to turn around and tell Izzy, because then she tried to double back with the lies, then turn back and tell Izzy, well, if you leave here, it's going to be all these what ifs or whatever. And I didn't come here for the what ifs. I came here for, you know, to take a chance and be risking or whatever, because always in the past, I've made a safe choice. This is how you make a safe choice and your ex is an addict. What was safe about that? And not only that, your rebound became your husband. When you only found out that you were still in love with your ex when your ex passed away, which caused a division in your marriage. And now you're here on this show. Say what now? I'm not understanding how you ever made a safe choice in the past before, because it doesn't sound like anything was safe there. Your husband was the closest thing to safe you probably was with, and you still didn't want that. So why are you doubling back to Chris now to try to tell him that, yes, you are my safe choice, and Izzy was the risk that I was willing to take? And I'm sorry, I cut you off prematurely, which was also a stupid move on her part, because Izzy gave you no whatsoever sign that you were his top, that he was going to choose you over anybody else. Never said, I love you. He wanted to make sure that you were all in prior to his decision. And he was giving you the same game you was giving both him and Chris. That was the craziest part. He was basically telling you that you sound more of a safer choice because you're vulnerable with me, and I want the vulnerability, but Stacy is not. However, she is still like my top choice. So you cut your bottom off for a possibility. Now you want to run back to your bottom talking about, I'm sorry, we can make this work. I was just out here messing around. I was just effing them boys. I was going to get back right. Like, come on now, sis, for real. You makes absolutely no sense. Only to turn around in the women's lounge and proceed to talk about Izzy to somebody else, talking about how he's getting it. He's got to get out his apartment. His credit is bad, all this stuff. Seconds after he dumped you, now he's all of these things that you don't want. Like, you dodged the bullet and you made the choice to let him go. And as Sean would say, you were sliding down the walls too. Like, sis, come on. You was crying over Izzy letting you go. Now he's all these bad things that you dodged a bullet from, and now you want to go back to your safe choice. Yeah, okay. I'll stop there and let y'all jump in this. Okay, well, I'll continue then, since neither one of you.
I was trying to be polite. I didn't know if Sean had something to say. Oh, okay. I just I don't think this is all that deep. Johnny's a F girl, Cheryl. She's a F girl, and she's doing F girl Cheryl things, and that's pretty much what's going on with her. She thought she just kind of overplayed her hand. She thought that she was really about to luck up with Izzy, which I think the future will tell that that's probably not the best choice. And then she, like you said, Jay, she overplayed her hand, and then she tried to F girl Cheryl her way through the men's lounge. But the men just weren't stupid. They just had a simple, very basic conversation, and she got caught up. They didn't even have to work that hard to catch her up. Like she literally was saying one thing to one person and a completely different thing to the other person. So that's on her. Now, why I think Izzy was hit the dough on her is because an F boy knows an F girl Cheryl. He realized when she told that crazy behind story, he was like, "Ooh, she's an F girl." He's like, I can't be playing in her face when she playing in my face. That's really all that was. He realized that he was about to get outdone in this process, and he said, "I will not be outdone. I'm going to go with somebody who got some sense," and that's what it's going to be. Because Izzy's not going to be a prize either. I say this all the time. Nobody who looked like Izzy, unless he just broke and ain't got no money, needs to go on a reality TV show. Unless he has some serious issues. So we're about to see those because Izzy's a very attractive person. So, what else are we talking about? We talking about Stacy too? Or just Izzy? Are we talking about Stacy? We can leave. Ain't really much to say about Stacy. But yeah, that's what I think it is. Johnny's completely unhinged. That story was completely unhinged. Huh? I didn't hear what he said.
What about Stacy?
We can talk about Stacy. Yeah, and Stacy, I really love the way Stacy played this season. The way the way she kept her business to herself. I tell people all the time, stop oversharing, keep your business to yourself. She did a good job. Mm-hmm. She seems really perceptive, and I think she's gonna peep Izzy. She's gonna peep his game. She's gonna peep what's going on with him pretty quickly. Because what I noticed about Stacy is she seems like she's very content with herself, and she's very okay with her own company. And I don't feel, even though she went on this show, I don't feel like she's as desperate as the rest of the players in this show. Because Izzy he has some desperation in him. Johnny's very desperate. Lydia's very desperate. What's the nerdy guy with the curls?
Milton.
Milton is very desperate. A lot of them are very desperate. Stacy seems like she's very content. And I think if Izzy starts playing in her face, which I believe he will, I think she's going to give him his pink slip and his freedom papers, and she's going to let him be blessed. But yeah, so that's what I think.
Yeah, I think that listen, Johnnie definitely overplayed her hand. And I'm just glad that Chris and Izzy had the good sense to have a conversation and uncover that she's just telling stories out here, and selling dreams and saying what she got to say to stay alive. She's literally fighting for her life. Now, she's one person that I would give the exception to. She can slide all the way down the wall because she done got dumped twice. Izzy gave her the boot, sent her packing. Then she tried to circle. Then she thought she was cute before she did that. She went around and let Chris go prematurely. You know, we said watch out for lawyers, but she's not the most strategic of lawyers around here, because anybody knows until he chose you, until you got the inclination, you know he's choosing amongst two different women. She overplayed her hand. You know, she overplayed her hand. And, you know, she dropped Chris before Izzy even chose her. And then once she told Izzy, he dropped her almost immediately afterwards. So here she went sliding down the wall, trying to figure out what's going on with her life and why she made poor decisions so quickly. And then she gonna circle the block. And listen, Chris is a true sniper. I appreciate him because he said, you know what? Let me think on it. Let me think on it. So she was like, ooh, I got a chance. I might just have a chance. And no, you're done. Because when they met again, yeah, I'm going to choose me. I think it's going to be a no for me, big dog. Yo, if it were me, I would even slide down the wall. And I don't like all that crying and carrying on TV at all. You know, me and Seaway, sometimes we agree on that in certain instances. But if I were her and I had played like that, like 3 different moves, just massive fail, I'd have slid right down that wall. That'd have been me. I'd have been crying into a pillow like Jared. I'd have slid down the wall. I'd have covered my face with my shirt. It would have been all those things because she was down bad. She was down bad. And I hope she rings in the towel. I hope she don't set her sights on anybody else. She just needs to go home and heal because she's a hot mess. All the stories, all the trauma, it's too much. And again, what is with this season? I feel like I need to go back and talk to my therapist because everybody got a sad story. Everybody got trauma, too much trauma. I understand people are dealing with a lot, but I just feel so heavy. I feel heavy. I feel like sliding down the wall after I done heard about all of these 50-11 stories of trauma that's going on in these people's lives, you know? So yeah, that's what I feel about Izzy. She just needs to go sit down. Stacy, I think she's emotionally unavailable. I think she's emotionally unavailable, and I think she's going to just run circles around Izzy. She probably gonna find something wrong with him. I know, Seaway, you said he's attractive. How much you want to bet? She wants Brad Pitt. She wants Channing Tatum. Everybody walks through these shows on these dating shows and be in Delulu land expecting, you know, the ultimate person with a 6-pack to walk through the show. So just like that other gal, what was the ones, JT, JP, whatever his name is, and the girl that he got engaged with, you know, she want to talk about old boy's teeth. So I really feel like it ain't gonna work with Stacy and Izzy. I just have a gut feeling. I hope I'm wrong, but I do feel like those two ain't gonna work out because Izzy talks about he likes the lightness of Stacy, but he does want the vulnerability because he truly did enjoy the vulnerability with Johnnie. I think he did like that about her, but I think his senses could tell that he wasn't gonna like her for real, totally. He wasn't gonna like the total package. So he moved on. And I think he does want that with Stacy. He's asked it, but he's settling for less because he does like her. You know, and I think that's not a recipe for a good relationship because I think they're on 2 very different pages. You know, Love is Blind has a certain recipe to their madness. We're always going to have a firefighter. You know, we had that other firefighter guy that was on there last season that got his heart broken by one of the girls, or the season before last, whenever it was, there's a firefighter here. So I'm just kind of, Izzy's going to just take us down a path. I know it. I just know it. He's a little bit of Bartiste and a little bit of a whole bunch of other people. Kyle, I think the guy's name was. And who's left? Chris. Chris is smart. Please, Chris, don't try with any other ladies. Just go on. Just go on with yourself. Carry on and go find, you know, go date regularly. Please don't find anybody else. Don't try to make any more connections. It's just not going to work. And I'm done.
Stacy and Izzy not gonna work for long anyway, and we know it not just because she's not vulnerable enough for him, but he needs validation too much. And she sat there on that floor and told him, I'm not built for this emotional stuff. He needs to know that you're chasing after him constantly, and his fear is loving somebody more than he loves them. So that means he's going to be constantly trying to figure out how much you love me. Do you love me? Tell me, Kiki, like all the time. Can you tell me, please tell me that you love me? He needs that validation all the time. And she's just not that type. She might have that love for you, but she's just not that type to express it in the manner that he's going to need it expressed. So it's going to be a problem. And when he doesn't get it from her, he's going to start looking for it elsewhere. So that's what's going to be the problem in this relationship. It's already like foreshadowed. You're chasing after the fun person who you says was too fun and not vulnerable enough for you. But everybody else that was vulnerable enough for you was too much, too soon. Or when they actually opened up and say, yes, I want you, you say, well, you know what? That's cool. I don't want you. You have a problem, sir. Izzy, you have a whole problem. And that needs to be resolved before you come on here. And Stacy, she's just not emotional enough. She's not emotionally invested in a lot of things, and she's guarded a bit. So she, she has a trust issue thing. She's a fear of abandonment. So that keeps her wall up from getting too attached to anybody. So she's not going to attach to him the way he needs a person to be attached to him. So.
And what is Izzy's race? Do we know?
Yeah,
I think it's Mexican, something Mexican.
Yeah, his father, but then remember, Seaway, his father was supposed to be Mexican, but that's not his. He discovered it's not his biological dad, so it's a little ambiguous at this point.
Yeah, I think that's also going to play. It seems like these people of limited color love to identify themselves with the blonde all-American women. I don't know how they figure it out through the pods, but they seem to figure it out. And then when they get down to meeting their family, it's usually a disaster. I know for a lot of people, we may not be able to see a huge difference between him and a white person, but they can see the difference. I mean, I'm sure a lot of us can see the difference, but because we're trying to figure out what the hell is he. But when he get down to meeting her family, because I saw him being real white identified down to them pods. I think he didn't get a lot of smoke because he's not stereotypically black, so we didn't bother with calling him out. But if he was doing all that stuff that he was doing down to the pods with that voice switching and crap that he was doing, he was going out of his way to find him a white queen. And I think that's also gonna come up later. But I just don't know what he is. Oh, he's a white Hispanic. Yeah, but he don't look white though. That's the thing. White people gatekeep who's white. That's the gag. The gag is Izzy doesn't get a chance to call himself white. And they gonna let him know real quick that he ain't. So I think that's gonna be interesting.
And you know what, another thing that clues me into that there's definitely some color in there, however limited it may be. Because he's a Jehovah's Witness, and we know most of them Jehovah's Witnesses are people of color.
That was the other giveaway. I said, what type of white Jehovah's Witness? They're going to start calling us ignorant in the comments. Just give us 5
seconds. Yeah, because there's a lot of them.
There is a lot of them.
I don't know.
In the UK.
It started off with white people only, darling.
I swear it was only black people knocking on my door. I ain't never seen a single white Jehovah's Witness. Okay. Learned something today. Listen, they in LA? They on the West Coast?
They everywhere, darling.
Look, whenever I hear folks talk about their Jehovah's Witness, maybe the Mormons for sure, and I'm not saying Mormons and Jehovah, I know they're two different things, but the Mormons do go out and they, do a ministry to bring people in. And they are definitely, Mormons are leaning towards white, right? Very known for that. Brigham Young, very white. But Jehovah's Witness, most of the ones I've seen, they're usually people of color. Again, that's just, my experience. Maybe that's just
like where you grew up, because where I grew up,
I mean, everywhere. And it's not just where I grew up. It's like places that I've lived.
I was just speaking to our Witness. there.
As a person who grew up Jehovah's Witness, there are plenty of white people in the organization. The organization started by white men. It's a lot.
That's why I said maybe
Joseph Smith, maybe Joseph Smith.
It's definitely you see them based on your community because they work the neighborhood because they're locals to the neighborhood that they're in. So
my community was white and I ain't seen one. So
exactly.
They must weren't in my community.
I don't know where you lot are, but they are the majority.
My community was white. And there was not a single white Jehovah's Witness.
Where are you guys looking? Because they're majority white.
That's what I said. It must be where you grew up because I'm saying there's not. Chicago's a very diverse place, and I ain't met not one.
Nobody has to shush. It's just we're just talking about our experience. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'm just saying that, hey, look, that's what I've seen. And I've lived plenty of places outside of where I've grown up. And that's been my experience. Now, hey.
Yeah, there we go.
So the other part is that when Stacy and Izzy met, he was very much enamored with her. And, they exchanged some nice kisses. And, she just seemed to be very much like, okay, and I don't think she was giving him church pats, but it wasn't looking like she was enamored as much as he was. It didn't seem like the energy was being matched.
Sean, she was giving him a Heisman a couple of times. She was like, he was touching on her leg. She was like,
because she wanted Brad, not Izzy. They do this every season. They put the person of limited color with the white lady with the blonde hair. And she don't want him.
Are you sure she a whole white lady too? Because she look like she is something. She don't look like she American. She
very Caucasian.
Now, Jerry, what's wrong with you?
No. What's wrong with you? Because you were just now trying to say that Izzy wasn't a white Mexican.
He's not. I'm talking about what white people view him as. I'm not talking about what we view him as.
No, I'm not even what he view himself as. He views
I don't give a F what you view
himself
yourself as. I can view myself as purple. That don't make me effing purple. I'm talking about what white people view you as. People need to understand this. Race is subjective. So if a white person looks at that man and says he is not white, that is the only person that determines whiteness. Our black behinds don't determine whiteness. He look white-ish to me, but I bet when he goes home to her white family, they're going to be like, no. Who is that black man? And you know what else is giving him? You know why else y'all can't tell? He got a bald head. When you got a bald head, you don't know what texture used to be there. So a lot of times when you got a bald head, you be looking like everything. We got to see some pictures when he had hair. That's how we know what he actually used to look like. We need the pictures with hair. That color person, right? Exactly.
That's definitely inviting us to TLC. That's for sure. We definitely get this panel on TLC.
What happened?
See where they cancel our TLC connection, boy. If they watching, they're like, they gonna get that race politics in there. Oh no.
Well, Kojo, you get an agreement with production, and we will make sure we adhere to the deal that production sets forward.
Oh, for that, we're gonna talk about what we need to talk about. Don't worry about it.
Exactly.
That's the reason why they love us, because you talk freely. Feel free. I ain't never mad. Talk your freedom, man.
Listen,
you know what I mean?
If it come with a check, I'll follow a contract.
Yeah, I know
we know you will. We know you will.
That contract. I know just how to toe the line.
See, Sean gonna be like cousin Courtney. Is the mic on? But let me see you. The mic still on? Oh, the mic is still on. Oh, okay. Well, my bad.
No, my high box said Izzy looked like he had that 3B curl pattern. He really do.
The 3D.
Listen.
Yeah. So, I definitely think, as Jay mentioned, she was like, hey, don't touch my legs. I didn't shave. Now you really weren't even excited because this is the first time you've seen a man. I don't know anyone that is excited to meet somebody. Y'all have just gotten engaged, and you don't shave your legs? If it's a problem, now it's another thing if you don't mind it, but she called it out like, I didn't shave my legs, so you know, this is what it is. Yeah. So that to me was like, yeah, she already in her spirit felt like she wasn't gonna like him all the way. So she put in a little bit of minimal effort. And then when he got to touching her leg too much, she was like, easy on, I got hair on my legs. And he was like, oh, I like that. Yeah, just two, you know, two. What did he say? Who said something about braiding it?
She said it. She said about braiding it.
She said braiding it. So that's already like, come on now, lady.
She asked him, can you braid it too or whatever? But it
That's
was
the
this
masculinity that only Black women got, allegedly.
I know, but see, that gives her color. She the one who over here talking about braiding it. Like, can you braid?
Okay, Jay,
can you braid my hair?
Hold on.
That's what you say.
Let Jay tell us where the girl is from, because she go, where is she from to you, Jay?
I don't know where the heck she's from. West Palm Beach. No, just
you gonna make Stacy from somewhere.
She from West Palm Beach. No, but the problem with me was this right here, Sha, when she was like this on him, but she wouldn't drop that arm. She was kind of hovering it. She was like, I don't know where to put it on you.
Mm-hmm. And like he said, she was pretty. They said this in the comments too. He said she's beautiful. He was layering her with comments. Not once did she say, "Oh, you're handsome."
She gave him a runway walk. That's what she gave him. She was like, I'm gifting you me."
He's like, "Thank you."
He likes them emotionally unavailable. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's the one thing Johnnie was correct about. Can't even lie to you about that. He does like them emotionally unavailable, and not that she's emotionally available to herself, but yeah, no, definitely, because I think he likes the kind of like the withdrawnness of them, because Stacey didn't offer any emotional aspect. Even towards the end, she offered a little twinge. She gave a little bit of a twinge, but it was, and I was in the pods, a little twinge at the end. But in reality, throughout the whole course of the last 4 episodes, what we saw was somebody saying, I'm not going to give you my emotions. I'm not going to open myself up. I'm not going to be so vulnerable. I'm not so good at being vulnerable. And that's when I realized, okay, well, if someone keeps telling you that, Izzy, you're afraid of being abandoned. Why are you connecting with somebody who's telling you they're not very in tune with their emotions? Now, I'm not saying that Johnnie was a better bet. Neither of them were good. In fact, all 3 women that you had, you might as well quit the process, if I'm honest with you, right? Because all 3 of them were problematic. But for me personally, I was just like, you don't want to feel like you're going to be abandoned or be left alone. Why would you choose Stacey then? Because at this point, she's not giving you the emotional aspect. Yes, everything is easy. And when you challenged her on being vulnerable, she said, well, I want to be easy. I want to be fun. I want to do this. I want to get to know you. But it was like, but I like some depth. Now, I'm not saying that all the depth that Izzy's even asking for is healthy, because some of this depth that he's asking for, really and truly, I just think he likes listening to people's trauma. I really just feel like he likes having that trauma aspect as a quote unquote depth. And so that's for me, I think there's a bit deeper for him. So yeah, so for me personally, I'm just like looking at their situation and I'm like, bro, why is it that you're willing to torture yourself with Stacey? What are you trying to prove? What are you trying to change on her to hopefully take the plaudits for in future? Like, old girl says she's not opening up, she's not that available, she's not that kind of emotive in that sense. And that's what you needed. So why are you still with her? That don't make sense. Come on.
It's an emotional F-boy downfall or whatever. I need you to be invested in me. And because she's at challenge, everybody else invested already. It's nothing to work for no more or whatever. But if I can get the person who I feel is emotionally unavailable to be in love with me, I feel like I got them. That's what he wants. He wants somebody that's in him 100% while he's straddling at 50 to 70% of it. That's his fear. I don't want to love somebody more than me. I mean, I don't want somebody to love. I don't want to love somebody more than they love me, because I feel like they're going to abandon me. Yet everything about what he was telling Johnnie means I want to be entwined into your life. You're already on the process of loving that person more. because you don't have no ground foundation, because you're running away from whatever religion that you grew up in, haven't found you another one. You're willing to take on anybody else's, be involved in their family or whatnot. You'll keep a Christmas tree up until April. Like, you just want to find your place in the world so bad, but it has to be attached to somebody else and their value of you. Not just that you value yourself. Now it's time for me to find somebody. I have to find somebody that values me so I can figure out what my validation feels like. And I don't know if that's from the trauma of finding out how he found out about his stepdad, because he said he ran away to a cousin's house and that's who told him. You know, you don't have trust issues between your parents. They didn't tell you the truth when they needed to tell you the truth. On top of it, they didn't raise you in a religion where you had a voice or you can get questions answered that you needed to be answered. You just went along with the program. And so you're fighting against that stigma already as an adult, only to find somebody that is set in their program, because Stacy ain't budge. Stacy is like, well, if you don't take me, I'm not opening up no more. If you don't want me, that's fine. I'll be fine. She fine enough not to even shave her legs. So she like, I don't care. I'm going to be me through this whole thing, and you're just going to deal with it. He's not going to get what he wants from her anytime soon, and he's going to jump ship before he can get her attached. Sorry, I gotta go. Let me get up out of here. It was good tussling with y'all for the night. You know what I'm saying? I like a
appreciate you.
Match, you know. Get our juices flowing. Get our juices flowing for the holiday.
That's right, baby. That's right. Not long left.
We can tussle and wine in Jamaica. How about that?
Oh,
I can't wait, guys. I'm drunk.
I can't wait, guys. Mm-hmm.
All right, my loves. I'll be in the
chat. JJ.
Bye, y'all.
Night.
See you, Jay.
Okay, so the last couple we're gonna do is JP and Taylor. I don't really know much about their. I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't really follow their story that much, so I have no clue what's really happening.
Fast forwarding through their bull crap, so I don't even know.
Okay, so that's good because we only got 15 minutes anyway. But JP and Taylor, I was like, yo, I don't even know where to begin with them because I'm not even sure what's going on. But you know, they kind of fell in love head first, real quick. And then obviously they ended up episode like 2 or 3. They're kissing, they're talking, everything. We don't actually have anything bad to say about them until it looks like the previews are going to show some madness. But any other thoughts for JP and Taylor? Because I know it probably won't be many because there wasn't showcased as much, but still, go for it, Sean.
Yeah, one of the things I found a little, and again, this is just me talking, right? Nothing that I'm gonna fully debate. It's just an observation. However, anybody that goes in and is so in love with red, white, and blue, everything needs to be red, white, and blue. That just gives me a little cause for the pause. You know, I'm sorry. It just kind of gets me to thinking, especially he's Southern, he's in Texas. I start to thinking things, you know, because what is with all of this overt patriotism? I don't get it. You know, like, I mean, I guess maybe that's just, you know, maybe that's me talking from my opinion as a person of color, you know, that's an American, that's a Black American, right? But definitely anybody, when I see people that are overly obsessed with this red, white, and blue, yeah, I'm just a little concerned, right? I want to know a little bit more. Like, what are you so proud of? What does the red, white, and blue really mean to you? What does that stand for? Right? Nothing wrong with, you know, loving the country that you live in, right? But do you understand? Do you know a little bit about privilege? Like, at a certain point, like, I just expect people in their 30s and 40s, you need to be a little bit more evolved. And if you're so detached from things going on in the world and you're super obsessed, I mean, like, obsessed with red, white, and blue, yeah, That to me, I need to know a little bit more. And I need to know if you have any awareness in terms of politics, race dynamics. Are you aware? So just my little clause for, what is she called? What do they call each other? Sugar butt, sugar tail, sugar foot, whatever little nicknames they made of each other. My concern there about that. And then the other thing, yeah, we're about to have some drama because when she met him, she started with, I said I was going into this process where attraction didn't matter and I wanted somebody with nice teeth. And then I saw him. No, ma'am.
That's
Don't
wild.
start it.
That's so wild.
Don't start. Then here they go, zeroing in on this man's teeth. I didn't think there was much wrong with his teeth, but hey, listen, it is what it is. But she ain't feeling the brother. She gonna start going down this path. Well, we have so much in common. Things matter more than that. Taylor. First of all, look, I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. I don't mean no offense, but if I saw those two together, I would say they are a perfectly matched couple. I wouldn't see any imbalance at all if I saw their wedding pictures. I'd be like, oh, nice couple. That's right. They fit. So I think she just needs to get out of the Lulu land. You ain't gonna get Harry Styles and Zac Efron on Love Is Blind, sis. So yeah, and that's what I'm gonna say.
We may just need to stay out of white people's business because maybe they on a completely different level and we just don't know. I think to our eyes, they look about the same.
No, I'm gonna be in their business.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't, because clearly what they see is cute. I don't sometimes. So I don't be knowing.
No, I'm gonna be in their business, and I'm gonna tell you, as somebody that has been around them, socialized with them, and so have you, have very much a friend, many of friends, and I am abreast of European and American beauty standards, and they are on the same level. But again, just like all of us, and there's certain things that are universal, and I don't think it's a white black thing. I think it's just some people are delusional, and that ranges across races. And some people just feel like they can get something better than what is presented to them. And hey, maybe they have in the past, but sometimes you just need to be realistic, especially if you're going on a show where you're not doing the picking. You need to just get out of here with all these teeth and what you want. And I don't want this, and I don't want somebody that's bald, and I want somebody that has a beard. I want their beard to connect. I want it not to connect. I want them to have a goatee. Look, hey, don't come on a reality show, because we're going to look at you. And when you come off saying, oh, hey, not what I expected, we're going to examine you too.
You ain't tell no lies, bro. You ain't tell no lies. And I definitely think they're on both an equatable beauty scale level. They're definitely on the same level. Absolutely. Anybody who says anything different is moving mad. They're equatable. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't have much to say about them. They fell in love. It looked like a happy ever after, but it seems like it's going to go and derail. So yeah, having that many flags probably means, probably means, you know what it means. Okay. You know exactly what it means. But yeah, I don't really have much to say about them. I don't know what I see when I watch them. I don't think I watched them that much. So I won't say anything else. Wait, any thoughts on JP and Taylor?
The red flag, the red, white, and blue flags crying on the American flag is definitely a red flag. It definitely signals some things. It's like name something that's racist that's not racist but feel racist. That's definitely one of those. And yeah, I think we're just gonna have to wait and see. I think I was surprised about that teeth thing. I did think they looked like a really nice couple. They look like a compatible couple. So hopefully she doesn't get in her own way with that. But I think a lot of people don't like what they say they like, and that goes for both sides. A lot of people say they want a nice guy, regular guy. But when they're faced with that, they have all these other things that they want, which I mean it's being human, but it's just not realistic. So, and I do think just a lot of people just aren't realistic. And that's probably why the late Kevin Samuels was so popular, because of what he would do. And I think he kind of shed a light on a lot of people's delusions. And a lot of women are really, really delusional. So we just gonna have to wait. But I still stand on I don't get in white people's attraction scales, because they may think that Stacy lady's super pretty, but to a black person, people may think she not, or she look old, or she this or she that. I don't know what's attractive to them and what's not. So for me, JP just looks like a regular white guy that seems just fine to me, but maybe he's not. I don't know. I'm gonna stay in my lane.
Don't worry, we're gonna stay in our lane and go in the lane of theirs as well. We're gonna say it for them. Okay? We're gonna say it for them. And you see, Way should have no problem saying it for them either, because you was out here telling us about how white people see Mr. Old Little Mexican. So you were telling us stuff that you don't even know yourself.
No, that's not what I said. Now you not listening like your subscribers. What I said was
no.
I'm gonna tell you what I said. I said it's not up to us to say what he looks like. I said white people will be the people to determine if he's white or not. I didn't say what he is or what he isn't, or what they will or what they won't. All I'm saying is that white people determine if he's white or not because they are actually white. I said for us, he may look white, but if you can't blend in with white society, if you can't stop getting pulled over, you know what I'm saying? Like that's actually what determines what's white in a society based on systematic racism. But they may look at him and say, hey, he looks white to them. Then sure, then I don't really care. Again, not my business. But in my opinion, I don't know if he's gonna pass muster. I don't think so. Cause if I done clocked them, I promise you they gonna clock them. So I think he's a person, of limited color. But we'll see what her white family has to say about that, and we'll stay tuned.
Okay. No worries. Any other thoughts on JP Taylor? No. Yeah, I think we've been a show to a beautiful end at 1:57. You know what I mean? Yeah, 1:57. Sean, what's your thoughts? Yeah, give us the the old benediction, shall we?
Whew, Lord, this is a lot. First of all, I just think we need to pray. Let's extend our hearts and our hands in prayer for Aliyah, because our poor girl has been through it. Whew, her best friend, her best sister friend, and her almost fiance done colluded against her and led her down a path of manipulation and lies. So let's just pray for her. And hope that she moves away from both of them, please. That is my prayer. And folks, the lesson here is, first of all, judge not, lest thee be judged. Right? So just be careful in how you be calling out somebody's flaws, especially knowing if you got a bunch of stuff packed up in your closet that's about to fall all the way out, right? So just easy on the heavy judgment, right? We can exercise discernment, but easy on the heavy judgment, right? Easy on that. And then also, please, let's just ease our way into love. Romantic love. Let's ease our way into friendship love. We need to vet people, right? The same way we exercise caution and guard our hearts with the people that we engage in romantic relationships. Please do that with your friends. folks, some of us out here got friends that mean us nothing well, right? Please don't be quick to hang on to friends because they've been your friend for 15, 20 years. Sometimes you got to let them go. You know, you got to let them go. Just like those relationships that aren't serving you, you have to let them go. Please, please, please. Moving on, Johnnie, please don't when we think about Johnnie, don't overplay your hand, and don't, be honest, and don't tell one story to the next, to the next, to the next. If your stories aren't lining up correctly, bow out, right? Bow out. And, when it comes to, we think about Izzy and his connections, don't be so eager. It's nothing wrong with wanting love. That's a great thing. But don't be so eager that you really miss what you really want, and don't settle, right? If you want depth and you want to have a good time, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't settle because you think you don't have options. You definitely have options. We truly know, it ain't profound, but there's a lid for every pot. And last but not least, look, they seem like they chose each other, but if you don't want me, don't talk to me. I know we kill it, but look, if my teeth ain't what you want, let me know early so I can pack my bags and hitch my wagon to somebody that likes my teeth and likes me, likes my swag, likes what I like, and we can move on, right? We don't need to settle. And if you don't like what somebody has to offer, please, please, let them know and move on. You don't have to hurt them, but let them know and let them go. And last but not least, know your level, right? We may not agree with a lot of things, and the way that Kevin Samuels, may he rest in peace, said some things. However, we need to self-assess. That little piece of the meat, we can pull from that bone and say, hey, let's self-assess. Let me sit and look in the mirror, right? Look in the mirror for yourself. Relationships are the true mirror, right? Look in the mirror. What do I bring? Who am I? What can I command? And be honest with yourself. Okay? Back to you, Coach.
Not that okay.
Okay.
When he hit you with that okay, he's like, okay, sweetheart, do you understand? Are you following? God bless you. That's my favorite okay.
Oh, gracious.
Lord.
Well, audience, thank you so much for tuning in. Y'all came out 500 strong to listen to us talk about Love is Blind, episode 3-4. We'll be back on Friday. Well, I guess Friday, but yeah, I'll be back Friday, I believe. I'll do a live after Ready to Love reunion is on. If someone doesn't drag me somewhere, I shouldn't be. But yeah, no, we will be back again for these lives next week, or probably on a Sunday. Actually, maybe I'll do it because we can do the first 2 episodes, whatever, as well. So honestly, much appreciated, guys. It's been fun. It's been pleasurable. And we know we missed you guys the first hour. Never have I ever done a show for an hour and thought you guys were actually involved, and it actually was not involved. So we'll see you again soon, guys. Much appreciation. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Ta-ra, ta-ra.